Hey everyone, how are you? In this video, I am going to guide you on text generation using Gemini AI and Python. Our input is going to be text or image or maybe both, and the output we need is a text which is generated using Gemini AI. We are also going to explore system instructions, temperature, multimodal behavior, and streaming responses. Understanding all of this can help you really understand and solidify your knowledge on text generation using Gemini and Python. We have already done our setup part for the project where we have explored how to get your API key, how to set up your API key, and how to create a basic program which can accept a prompt, make a request to the Gemini AI, and get a response and print the response. You can find that video link in the description as well as in the I link. Now, moving forward, we are going to explore more about system instructions, temperature, multimodal behavior, streaming responses, and in the next video, we are also going to see how to create a chat application, and we are going to explore about chat conversation history as well. For now, let's move ahead and let's explore the text generation strategy using Gemini AI and Python. So what we can do is we can actually copy this basic code we have in our new file called as textgeneration.py. Let me paste it here. And I have already set up my API key as an environment variable. So I don't need to pass my API key here in the client method. And if you're not getting what I'm telling you, I will highly recommend you to go and watch that video where I've explained the setup and the basic code of working with text generation using Gemini and Python. Once you are familiar with this basic code, we can actually move ahead. But I will explain you in short that what's happening as of now. We are importing Gen AI from Google, and then we are creating a Gen AI client. This client is going to make a request to the Gemini API, and this is where we are making the request. Before making the request, we are accepting a prompt from the user, and we are passing that prompt as a content for our model. Based on the content, it is going to give us a response. The model we are using is Gemini 2.5-Flash, and then we are printing the response we are getting from the model. Now the next thing we need to explore is the system instructions. Basically, let me just run the code as of now and let's try to understand what's happening. So if I say Python text generation.py, it is going to ask me, give me a prompt. Now if I give it a prompt that who is Ronaldo, right? I hope you know about Ronaldo. He's a footballer. So it is going to give us a response. I'm expecting the response to be big, which is fine. And we are going to get a lot of information, I think. So this is what I have. And you will see it is a really big information, which is fine. We have asked about Ronaldo. And now this AI is giving me the response that, okay, Ronaldo is a footballer. Ronaldo is Cristiano Ronaldo, who is a famous Portuguese footballer. And it is giving us a lot of information. Of course, information number one. Then we have information number two. This is about some other Ronaldo. He's from Brazil now. So of course, in our query, we have not told which Ronaldo or which field Ronaldo, right? AI is just assuming that, okay, if you are asking me about Ronaldo, it must be from football. And in football, the most famous one is Cristiano Ronaldo, and there is one more Ronaldo. So it is also giving us one more response or one more data, which is fine. But the thing is, what if we want our model to have a pre-built instruction based on which it is going to give us a response? We want to give it an instruction based on which it is going to understand the prompt and make a modification in its response. For that, we actually need to pass one more argument in our request to the Gemini AI. When we are making a request, we are saying client.models.generate content. In this generate content method, we also need to pass something called as config, which will be equal to an object of generate content config. Now this generate content config is from types, has to be imported. So we can say from google.genai, we need to actually import something called as types. Now from this types module, we can actually import that class, which is known as types.generate content config. So basically this is the class dedicated for configuration of generate content method. So in this configuration, we need to do a configuration and say system underscore instructions is equal to do not think about football. Now I'm clearly telling this particular AI that whatever happens, do not think about football. And this should be instruction and not instructions. It should be system instruction. And before I run the code, let me also say that your response should be within 50 words, right? So that our response is not too big. All right. So now I need to go to the terminal, run the code again. And now you will see that when we say who is Ronaldo, okay, so it is giving us an error. All right, the The problem is it's a small typo. It should be generate. So let me clear the console, run the code again, and now if I say who is Ronaldo, so it is giving us a response that Ronaldo is a common Portuguese given name. It is famously associated with several individuals, most notably highly recognized athletes from Brazil and Portugal. Without specific content, it's difficult to pinpoint one particular person as multiple public figures share the same name. And this happens because I have given this model a system instruction that do not think about football. So it will not think about football, even though it knows that, okay, when you say Ronaldo, it must be coming from football, but let's ignore it. So that's where you need to use system instruction to provide an extra level of information to your model based on which it can give you some response. So that's about system instruction. And let's talk about something called as temperature. This temperature is another configuration property. So when you are making a request to your model, you decide the model, you decide the content, and then you configure it, right? We added a configuration system instruction. Let's add one more configuration called as temperature. Now this temperature configuration is used to control the level of creativity your model should have while generating the response. A small value means less creativity, faster response. A high value means more creativity, but it could take some time to generate the response, right? And the range of this value is 0 to 2, right? So if I give the value as 0, then I'm expecting a very less creative response, but a faster response. So let me just run the code again. And if I run the code and just say a prompt that who is Messi, hit enter, wait for some time, we are going to get some response, but the response is not going to be too creative. Now Lionel Messi is a highly acclaimed Argentine professional athlete. Look how it is not even mentioning the word football, right? So the system instruction is working fine. He is a global icon, widely recognized for his exceptional talent and numerous individual awards. He holds many records and achieved significant success throughout his career, inspiring millions worldwide. Now it is a good response. Now let's set the temperature as 2. When I set the temperature as 2 and run the code again and give literally the same prompt, of course the output is going to be different, but the creativity is also going to be different. Setting the temperature value as 2 means very highly creative response. So let's wait for the response. It's definitely going to take more time compared to the first request, but now you can see the response is if Lionel Messi is a globally renowned Argentine celebrated for his exceptional talent and numerous achievements. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest figures in his domain, captivating audiences worldwide with his remarkable skill. So the words like captivating and renowned, all these words are more creative compared to simple words in the first response, right? And generally you can just use the value as 0.1 to provide a little bit of creativity. So that's about system instructions and temperature. Now what is this multimodal behavior? The thing is, I have written here that the input we are going to give to our model is not just text but image as well. Maybe it can be a text, maybe an image, or both at the same time. So this behavior of a model of understanding multiple type of data is called as multimodal behavior. So let's explore this multimodal behavior and how to implement this in our code. So let me clear the console and I have few images with me. So if I go in this project folder, I have some images as cat and I have elephant, men, tree, women. I have a lot of images, right? Now a very simple thing which I can do is I can just give my model a image and ask my model some question on this image, right? So let's do this. So let's actually import something called as image from PIL, import image. Now this PIL is the pillow module which is used to work with images. So if it is not installed for you, you can simply install this PIL or the pillow module using the pip package manager. You can just go to your terminal, type the command pip install pillow, hit enter, wait for some time, and it is going to do the installation. For me it is already installed, but for you it will be installed if it is not. So then you can import this and this will be used to work with images. Now in my model I have already given it some system instruction. I will update the system instruction, but I will also update the content as well. I don't just want to give it a prompt, I want to give this model an image, and along with the image I will give this model a prompt. So let's do one thing. Let's first fetch that image. So before we fetch our response, I can say image is equal to, I can make use of this image class, image dot open, and now I need to give it a path. So based on my current file, this particular image belongs to images slash cat1.jpg. So let's make use of this image. I can say images slash cat1.jpg. If you are using an image from some other directory, then make sure that you update your path based on your own image. So now I have an image. How to pass this image to the content? Instead of passing the prompt or the content as a string, I can just remove this and I can pass a list. The first data I will pass is the image itself. The second data I want to pass is tell me about this image. Let's get rid of this prompt. So now what we have is we have our client, we have our image, and now we are making a request. This is our model. This is the content where we have sent the image and we have asked something about the image. And the configuration, let's update the configuration. Let's say the system instruction is response should be within, let's say 10 words. Okay. And also we can say be funny. So it will give us a funny response. All right. So we are good now. So let's run the code. And to run the code, I can just run the command python space text generation.py. That's my current file. Hit enter, wait for some time, and it is going to give you a response. And I am hoping a response which is on the cat. It depends upon the image itself. So I know that it is taking some time, but it is fine. So the response is professional napper. Don't disturb the perfectly lazy. Now you might think that where is the cat here? But if you notice the image, here is a cat who's taking a nap. So it's a professional napper. And don't disturb the perfectly lazy. This purr, that's what a cat has, right? Cat has fur. So it's just trying to make a very creative response, which is really good. But what we can understand from here is we have given this model an image, a text. The model is understanding both of it, and based on the content we have given, it is creating a response, and the response is really good. So this is how you can work with multiple type of inputs. Specifically, I would say image and text. Now the next thing is let's explore the streaming responses thing. Now the streaming responses is very important. I'll tell you why. And before I tell you why it is important, you should know what it is. So by default, the model actually returns a response only after the entire response is generated. But let us say our response is too big. It will take some time to get generated, right? So what we can better have is our response will be given to us in streams. So in that way, we can utilize the chunk of response we are getting based on when it is being generated, right? And if you're not getting what I'm telling you, it is fine. Let's explore this. Let us see how we can actually implement this. So let me clear the console, and it is very simple, guys. If you know the text generation strategy using the generate content method, you just need to say generate content underscore stream. That's it. Now this response is going to be a streaming response. So I can make use of this response now to get my actual response. I can say for chunk in response, because now our response is getting streamed. We are going to get the chunk of information from the response. So now we can just simply run a loop, and we can say print chunk dot text, and I can say end equal to, let us say dash 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 new line dash dash dash. Let me comment it up for now, and let's actually not have a small response of 10 words. Let us say response should be within 1000 words. Okay, we are actually going to get a big response, but you are going to notice something which is really good. So let me run the code and wait for the response, and you will see that the response we are getting is actually a streaming response. The response will be generated and it will be printed here. So did you notice it? If you didn't, then try to go back to the video and you will notice that the response which was getting printed didn't got printed at the same time. You will see that a lot of information like this or this one, everything is about the content which we have given. But the main thing to notice here is all the responses were not printed at once. It is being streamed and it is getting printed in chunk, because now we are running a loop over it, and the moment a new response is getting generated or a new data is getting generated, it is being printed using the chunk.text. And then after every data which is getting generated, we are printing this. So this is a proof that our response is actually streaming now, and this is very useful if you are actually working on an application which is going to generate a bigger content. And it is very easy to implement. If you know about generate content, just append this underscore stream, and when you are getting the response and when you are printing the response, don't print it directly, because now you are going to get a chunk of responses as a streaming list. Go through this list and print your response or do whatever you want. And guys, that's it for this one. This is the complete code we have, but the thing is we have covered system instructions, temperature, multimodal behavior, streaming responses, and that's a lot of good information you have for a text generation guide using Gemini AI and Python. Now our next target is definitely going to be creating a small chat application, and we are going to explore an inbuilt behavior of chat conversation history from the Google Gen AI library. We are going to do this in the next video, but for this video, if you have understood everything, then it is really good. Hit that like button. But if you have any questions, then make sure that you put it in the comment box and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. I will see you guys in the next video. I want to see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching this one.